So I had originally heard about the legacy video from a friend of mine, and I was intrigued right away because the older I get, I think how important it is to have more experience-based gifts than physical gifts. And this represented the best combo between spending some quality time together with my grandma and then providing something that would exist for years to come for my family. I immediately was like, gosh, let's try to give this a try. So I submitted the idea to grandma, and she tends to be the person that gets a little more anxious, and she's always concerned about how her hair will look. And so we decided to plan it for the day after she got her hair done, and she ultimately warmed up to the idea. And actually, the longer we went on, the more comfortable she got, and I was impressed by how much she really wanted to say. There's so much of us that makes up the whole person, and so it's important to explore all of those things, and have an opportunity to do that with her was wonderful. And it was good to hear it from her too. I think as family members, we tend to hear stories that other people, or you get it through the lens of someone else, and the more important part is she got to represent her life as she lived it and tell us how her experiences were. It's hard, I think, to catalog the entirety of somebody's life, but the fun part was thinking about the questions ahead of time and maybe questions that you wanted to know. I think I asked her at one point, like, you know, did you ever get into trouble when you were a kid? Or, you know, what was your favorite part about growing up, or the activities that you did? And these things sometimes come to mind, but you don't actually know the answer. And then sometimes, you know, she surprised you based on what she had to say. I think I'm incredibly lucky having gotten to do that with her, and just watching her kind of think through all of her old memories. And feeling like you got to be a part of what it was like for her to grow up at that time, because I think it was a lot different too from what it is now. And you don't know unless you ask the question, and sometimes they surprise you with the answer, and you learn things maybe you never even knew. We decided to make the video for my grandma for Christmas for my family members, as a surprise to my dad. He was a former yearbook editor, so preserving memories and taking photos is something that he really enjoyed. And you could kind of all see the whimsy in everyone's eyes as they watched it together, and watching grandma kind of mouth the words of her story. And she was quite tearful, even reliving some of those. So it was a really fun experience. And I think that's kind of the upside too. Not only is it a gift that you give your family, but it's an opportunity for you to spend time together. So the days that we filmed together, grandma would call and we would look forward to it, and she would ask questions, and she was excited, and she asked actually how many more times we could go back and do it again. So she really enjoyed it. My only regret, I think, is when you look back in time, is hoping that I would have known about it sooner, because had that been the case, I have some other family members that it would have been great to have their stories as well. But so you do the best with the time you've got, and I would recommend it for anybody.